Shawnee Mission North's theater program is celebrating some national recognition. We'll check out what makes it special. Plus, find out why reading has become a family affair at Mission Valley Middle School. Also, an in-depth look at the district's signature program that trains future engineers. And the Shadow gets cooking with SkillsUSA students. All on this episode of Spotlight on Shawnee Mission. Welcome to Spotlight on Shawnee Mission. I'm your host, Leanne Neal. A big congratulations goes out to the Shawnee Mission North Theater Department. Stage Directions magazine selected it as the best in the Midwest. Here's a look at what makes the department a standout.
All right, you ready? Let's go, okay.
I've been hearing great things about North Theater for years, ever since I was in elementary school.
This is the first ever ART show of this year. Who's excited? Who's excited? Yeah!
I think it's how professional we are. Like, we really are in it, you know? And also the joy that everyone has while doing it, and it's very apparent during the shows about how we all love it, and the teachers, of course, they help us a lot.
Ross and Allie are part of Shawnee Mission North's ART class. It is just one of many ways students can get involved.
ART is Advanced Repertory Theater, and there's lots of different levels that you go through in this drama department. I mean, there's first drama, and then actor studio, and then tech theater. And then when you're a junior, you can do rep theater. And then senior year, you can audition to be in ART, and it's a lot of fun.
Do your evil laugh, take a pause, and go, I'm a test tube baby.
We do somewhere between 12 to 15 productions a year, which allows more students to be involved, and the interest is there. Because we have more productions, students, if they're involved in another activity, can also be involved in theater.
Different kids get the leads, and different kids get to be crew heads. It's fun. It's good opportunities, I think.
ART!
Shawnee Mission North was one of 5 regional winners selected by Stage Directions. The magazine reported that each school had several things in common, including an exceptionally supportive administration, enthusiastic, devoted parents, and talented teachers.
It's got to have something to do with the teachers, just because it's been this good for this long.
We're probably one of the few schools in the country that have 3 full-time theater teachers, and we don't do forensics, we don't do debate, so I think that makes us stand out.
We get a lot of support from our administration as well, which is incredible because a lot of schools might not necessarily have that as kind of like a backup.
Another aspect students feel sets Shawnee Mission North's program apart is the amount of involvement and leadership that they're allowed to have.
Like a lot of other schools, most of our things are student-based, especially the tech work. A lot of other schools have professionals come in, almost everything, or nearly everything, 95% of all of the tech work is student-based.
I love the theater department just because, I'm doing something, and it's me, and I just fit in, and I love the feeling of just the freeness that being on stage can give you.
I guess, as corny as it sounds, making the friends and memories. There's a lot of people and just moments that I won't forget here in the department. So much goes on every day, and sometimes you just kind of have to sit back and realize what we have here. It's pretty nice.
That's awesome.
To find out more about Shawnee Mission North's theater department, visit its website at www.smntheater.com. Like the beginning of a novel, the night was dark and stormy. Luckily, the Mission Valley Library was warm and welcoming for the middle school's first mother-daughter book club. About 50 people gathered in the library to hear Barbara Stuber discuss her book, Crossing the Tracks, about a girl's journey to find herself. 7th grader Danny Salays and her mom Terry were in the audience.
She's really entertaining, and I like how she makes you laugh and stuff, and she actually captures you.
And this is an age too where for mothers and daughters it can sometimes be tough to find a moment to get together, and so at this juncture in their lives. I think it's a great opportunity for us as moms to come together with our daughters as a group and enjoy that together.
The book club was the brainchild of Mission Valley librarian Kathy Knopp.
After I read the book, I thought it really lended itself to a mother-daughter event, and I'm always trying to think of something different to do, something unique to get the girls interested and all of the kids interested in reading, and I just thought this would be a fun event.
The Soleil's women decided to read the book together.
We actually stopped at several points and we talked about the foreshadowing or different elements that she was thinking about, and she'd ask a question and create a lot more interaction, and I think it was more fulfilling for both of us to explore it together, and also forced us to share that time and gave us opportunities to talk about things we might not have otherwise.
After the success of this first meeting, Knopp hopes to do a second book club in the spring, and she already has a lead.
Barbara has said that she has a friend who is an author who has just published another book that she would like for me to read. So that would be fun because we could have another author come.
But Knopp says she has no plans to try this with the boys.
I had several moms who have sons, and they asked if they could come tonight. And I said, well, of course you can come, but you can't bring your boys. They said they would never come anyway. They would never, no, middle school boys, you'd never get them to do this.
Originally, Knopp thought she would host the club at her home, but when the interest far exceeded her expectations, she moved it to the school's library. A Shawnee Mission Signature program is helping grow engineers from the ground up. The spotlight shines on Project Lead the Way when we come back.
Hi, I'm Iris Browning.
And I'm Dominique Jones.
And we're in 5th grade from Rosend Elementary School.
We read the book titled The Freedom Train
by Evelyn Coleman.
It's all about a boy named Clyde. Clyde lives in Cabbagetown and goes to school just like you.
His older brother guards the Freedom Train. It has important documents on it. His mom, dad, and brother want him to do a pledge called the Freedom Pledge. There's one problem. Clyde gets stage frights.
Clyde also has a bully problem. Philip Granger is the meanest kid ever.
Will Clyde get over his stage fright and say the Freedom Pledge?
Do Philip and Clyde ever become friends?
Read the book to find out.
We rate this book 4 out of 5 stars for its amazing story.
Right now, students can get a head start on an engineering career in one of the district's signature programs offered at Shawnee Mission South called Project Lead the Way. But starting next year, the program expands to all Shawnee Mission high schools.
Project Lead the Way is a national engineering curriculum. It encompasses 5 different classes that you take throughout your 4 years. You have an intro class, you have a mechanical engineering class, an electrical computer science engineering class, aerospace engineering, and a senior capstone class. And all of those classes you're eligible to receive college credit.
Most of my family are civil engineers. I don't think I'm going to do civil, maybe another. That's why I'm in this class, you know, just to learn the different fields of engineering and all that.
Project Lead the Way really focuses on helping students to understand the broadness of an engineering curriculum and also how, you know, they can pick the segment they want to be in. It also just helps students to identify what field of engineering they might want to study in college, or if engineering is even for them.
I always like to make stuff with my hands, and I thought it was cool, so I came when they showed me South Night. I just came here and saw projects, and I thought it was really cool, and I wanted to try to do it. And so far, I really like it.
Any student is eligible to be part of the program. If you're looking for students who are interested in pursuing careers in math, science, and engineering. Students who find those courses interesting, and we really appeal to students who like hands-on learning. Because engineering is so much about building products, we really want students who like working with their hands. Almost everything we do in class is a hands-on building project.
I didn't like science so much, but I do a lot more now, especially since I started Project Lead the Way. But I always just like to get hands-on and all that, and I was really good at math, so I kind of thought engineering. And then South had our own special program, so I decided to go for it.
Right now we have about 100 students, and our numbers have been growing each year. So we added another teacher to the Project Lead the Way program this year, which we're really excited about, and we're adding all of the other high schools as well. And you don't have to take all 5 of the engineering classes. You can, if you can't have room for that in your schedule, take a few of them just to give yourself the flavor for what it's like. And for students who complete at least 3 of the classes, they get a special designation on their transcript showing that they completed the Project Lead the Way program.
If you like making stuff, building stuff, and using electronics and technology, check this program out.
It's really fun, and you're not going to be able to take any other class that's like it.
If you're someone who likes to build, if you're someone that likes to know how things work, you like to take things apart, it's just a great way for you to spend an hour of your day exploring that field. Because these classes are so project-oriented, they're not very heavy with homework, so they're a nice elective to have to kind of have your time to explore. The freshman year course is called Introduction to Engineering Design, and it focuses mainly on the design process that engineers use. How do we start with an idea in our head and take it the whole way through completion of a product? Sophomore year, we move into Principles of Engineering, which is kind of an overview of what a mechanical engineering curriculum would look like. They start building projects, they start looking a little bit at the math and science behind them, and really it's about solving a lot of little projects and little problems throughout the year. Junior year is when they'll likely take both digital electronics and aerospace.
I really like my digital electronics class. It's like really problem solving, and I like that a lot.
In the senior capstone class, we have mentoring opportunities where students are paired with an engineer from the community, and the mentor kind of comes to school about once a month and walks alongside them with developing their product. The students tend to really enjoy the class because they have freedom to discover things and do the hands-on projects. For a lot of students, this is the one time of their day where they don't have to sit in a seat and just, solve problems or read a book. They get to be up and moving around and interacting with computer programs and various building materials.
So far, my favorite part would be like the things we create. Like at the end, you feel like I made this, and it's a great feeling to know that you're capable of making anything once you set your mind to it.
Assuming that you do well in the course and the end of course exam, you can earn college credit, which can help you out as you're starting an engineering program. And schools in the area like Missouri S&T and Wichita State both give special consideration to Project Lead the Way students. Scholarships in engineering are very high, especially for students who are looking to get outside of the Kansas-Missouri area. Schools all across the country offer very large scholarships for pursuing engineering.
There's like way more opportunities because I'm taking this class and because I'm a woman. So my options are pretty open, I would say.
A lot of students, it's helped them to really go in knowing what major they want to look at, and it's also just helped to give them a leg up in those engineering classes, that they've already seen some of the math that they're going to see. They've already seen some of the science, so it's not fresh and scary at the very beginning. Well, the hope is that Project Lead the Way will really grow in the district. A lot of other districts in Kansas City have very strong, thriving Project Lead the Way programs, and we want to be exactly the same. There's a lot of students out there that have interest in engineering, that like building things, taking things apart. It's just really finding those students and getting them connected with Project Lead the Way so that they can have this experience. Being a national curriculum guarantees that students are getting the cutting edge engineering knowledge. The curriculum is constantly being revised, and so it's not going to be the same from year to year because it's always going to be what is the most important things for them to learn to prepare them for engineering now. The dropout rate among engineers in college is fairly high because of the struggles and the challenge. So the better we can set up students in high school, then the ones who enjoy engineering will actually be able to succeed in it at the college level.
To learn more about the Project Lead the Way Signature Program, visit our website, www.smsd.org. Click on the Students tab at the top and select Signature Programs from the drop-down menu. Some Shawnee Mission students will soon know a lot more about their counterparts in China. Up next, the special partnership that's making it happen. Students at Brookridge Elementary are making friends half a world away thanks to a new partnership with a school in China. With dragons lining the walls and fortune cookies hanging from cherry blossom trees, the Kansas City Chinese Association helped introduce Brookridge students and their families to Chinese culture. The experiences should help students better understand their new sister school in China, the KC Friendship School, which was built by KCCA.
After the earthquake happened in China in 2008, KCCAA will raise money for rebuilding a school in the earthquake-affected area. In a few seconds, our old school building suffered serious damage.
Frederick believes the Chinese students will get a lot out of the new partnership.
First, I think it's going to open up their eyes, their minds, because living in the mountains, living in a small village, it's really hard for them to appreciate the outside world.
The cultural exchange is important for Brookridge students as well.
We want our children to become more aware and to become more fluent with what's going on globally also, and to learn that there are more, we have more in common than we have differences.
As part of the presentation, Frederick read a letter from the KC Friendship School's principal.
We feel so honored and excited to partner with Brookridge Elementary School as a sister school. In a world that is becoming smaller and smaller thanks to globalization and technology advancement, our students will sure learn a lot from their new friends in Kansas City.
Then the group presented the Brookridge Bobcats with a special plaque.
I am so excited because I haven't looked real hard at it, but I see the Bobcat right there, so I think it's going to work out pretty good in our school.
During this evening of Chinese food and cultural fun, Brookridge students had the opportunity to sign up for a new club.
We want to set up a Chinese club in this school and establish a communication channel between the two schools.
And some of the things like they'll be learning to do is how to write their name in Chinese. I just think this is a golden opportunity to bring the world together. I'm thrilled, I'm excited. I just think this is an opportunity that you can't pass up.
The Brookridge students will get a chance to perform the special song that they learn at KCCA's Chinese New Year celebration. Coming up, the heat may be on in Broadmoor's kitchens, but the shadow can stand it, especially when pie is involved.
Hi, my name is Jill. And I'm Courtney. And we're from Sunflower Elementary. We read The Cabinet of Wonders by Marie Rutkowski. This story is about a girl named Petra Kronos whose father's eyes got stolen by the Prince of Bohemia. Petra travels to Prague to get a job at the prince's castle and make a plan to steal her father's eyes back. Petra's tin spider, Astrophil, likes to hide in her hair and whisper advice in her ear. Petra makes close friends and dark enemies in this story. If you like fantasy stories, this would be the book for you. We rate this book 4 out of 5 stars. Check it out today.
Baking and selling delicious pies has become a fundraising tradition for SkillsUSA students at Broadmoor Technical Center. So just what happens in the kitchen that makes these pies such a big hit every Thanksgiving? The Shadow had to know. My first partner was Network and Computer Services student Emmett Monslow, who explained a bit about why the students were in the kitchen fundraising for SkillsUSA.
Well, SkillsUSA is an organization where we can go and compete and to get scholarships and scholarship opportunities and be able to grow and get connected with industry. These fundraisers give us enough money so that we can pay to go there and to partake in the competition so that we can get gold, silver, and bronze. We're known for taking all three.
Tell me now, where did we get the recipes? Did this come from Chef Dotson, or?
I'm sure it's from Chef Dotson, who has put a lot of time into and planning into this. We're the ones that actually make the crust. We made the crust for the pumpkin and the pecan pie. These were made by his students, the bakery students.
So now how do you know when you have enough apples in there?
He said just pile them on and then put some juice in there. So be gift giving, you know. Don't be greedy with the apples. Looks like he's doing a good job doing it.
Yes. Looking around the kitchen, I noticed that most of the student volunteers, like Emmett, weren't culinary or baking students, something I had to ask SkillsUSA advisor Byron Johns about when he stopped by. I know a lot of these students are actually your students that are in the computer networking program, but today they're cooking. Was it hard for you to sort of twist their arm to get them to come, or?
No, because they heard, you know, from the students that have done it last year how much fun it is and how much it's fun it's being in SkillsUSA and traveling to the competition, so they know what's at stake, you know. They know that this is going to help them get there, and they look forward to it. They have a lot of fun with it.
While Garrett and I waited for the pie dough to be ready to roll, I tried my hand at filling some pumpkin pies. Okay, so this is my drip pan.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, this looks good.
Gigantic lid.
It is, and it's kind of heavy too. Okay, so just ladle it right in the center. So far, what's the best seller? Is it pumpkin?
Oh, let's look over here on the board. Looks like pumpkin pie is the, oh no, actually pecan pie is the best so far.
Having passed the pumpkin test, it was on to pie dough rolling. First, we watched a pro in action.
So you don't have to press very hard to cut the dough because it's soft, it's pie dough.
Okay, so I'm gonna watch, and then I'll try a hand at it.
Be sure to get some flour on your roller so it doesn't stick.
It was clear that Garrett, the computer guy, had learned a thing or two about pie making. Now it was my turn with the pie dough. While the students continued their work, I had a chance to chat with Commercial Baking Program's newest addition, Chef Toby Dotson.
This is my first year as an educator. I've spent 30 years in the industry. Most recently, for the last 16, 17 years, I worked in New Orleans as a pastry chef. So this is all very new and very exciting to me. The facilities are going to give these kids an amazing advantage. So, and they may not realize it right now, but they're going to come away from working in a facility like this with more experience than they could get working in the real world in several years. They can do in a semester or two.
I finished my afternoon scooping apples with Sydney Stout, a Shawnee Mission Northwest junior who is part of Broadmoor's Culinary Arts program. You just moved here from Mississippi?
Yes, ma'am, I did. Clinton, Mississippi, a suburb of Jackson.
And you said, did you have some culinary, you'd had a little culinary experience there?
Yes, ma'am, a little bit. I did culinary in Mississippi. It definitely was not as advanced as this culinary class.
And so when your family moved here, did you know, I mean, was that something that was important? Did they know that you wanted to pursue culinary studies?
Yes, ma'am. We looked at a lot of different places, and we saw that Broadmoor had a lot of to offer, and it's absolutely great. I'm learning things here that surpass a lot of college schools. Some of them you just got to kind of toss around a little bit.
My thanks to Byron Johns, Chef Dotson, and all the SkillsUSA members for letting me crash their pie-making party. In past years, the funds raised through the annual Thanksgiving pie sale typically pay for about 90% of the cost of taking students to SkillsUSA competitions. That's all the time we have for this episode of Spotlight on Shawnee Mission. Join us again as we continue to feature the programs and people of Shawnee Mission who are helping guide students to success. Thank you for watching.